Welcome to Legend Makers, the podcast where education's true heroes take center stage. All right, we are back with another episode of the Legend Makers podcast. I am here with Trisha Adami. That's like Adam with an I. Trisha Adami. She is out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. She is a K-5 design thinking process teacher in Westchester School District. Trisha, hello. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to speak with you. I think we have a lot to talk about because I think, based on what I've been researching on you and just the short, brief conversation we just had, we have a lot in common in a lot of ways. I think we share kind of a similar passion and when I talk about Inside Every Child Lives a Legend, I say it not. And so I'm thinking about yeah, she gets it. And she knows exactly what I'm talking about. So in addition to being an educator, you're a self-published author.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about why you publish your books, what they're about? I think that's an appropriate way to start, and then we'll get into your teaching career. But I want to talk about Snow real quick.
Absolutely. So the whole reason I started publishing these and writing her journey as a princess was so that other kids that ask their parents when they're going through surgeries and cancer, they don't feel alone, and they know that there is a story about them out there. Because when Snow started going through it at 6 years old and she was ready to have that first surgery, she looked at me before she went back to surgery and she was like, "Mommy, do princesses have surgery?" And I was like, yes, Snow, they do. And it made me think a little bit like, where can I find something to read to her that would help her understand this a little bit better? And the first surgery, it was just removing the tumors, which was a very scary surgery through the spinal cord, and then a long process to get better. And this is all in her first grade year. Her class was incredible. Her teacher was incredible. The school was incredible. Like our family, friends, like everybody was so supportive through the time. And after 3 months, she went back for her checkup MRI. And they said, "Oh, there's some cysts here, but we're not worried," because she wasn't having any pain like she was before, nothing like that. Okay, good. We'll keep a really close eye on it. Then it was really interesting. It was only a couple weeks later, she started crying again in the middle of the night. And that's how we had found out about it in the first place. It was middle of the night pain, but it took 6 months to actually figure it all out. Because when we took her to the pediatrician, they're like, it's growing pains. And then they did blood tests, x-rays, and other tests. And
battery of tests, right?
Didn't show anything. And then finally in October, we got the MRI and they pulled us out of the room on October 25th, 2021, and said, "We need to talk to you." My heart sunk. I just all of a sudden was like,
I can't even imagine.
I was like, what is wrong with my baby? And they were like, "We found a huge mass. You have to go right to CHOP. We are going to have you ambulance there, but we think you guys can make it as long as you go like straight there." And we were at CHOP King of Prussia at the time. So then we went into CHOP Philadelphia. And that's how everything was discovered. And then that week she went in for like so many other MRIs, blood tests. And then on that Thursday, because that was a Monday, she had the surgery. And the doctors decided to do this placing of the needle. And she was the first kid ever to have this done. They've done it in adults, but they never did it in kids so that they could pinpoint exactly where the tumors were when they were going in to remove the bone and then vacuum it out. It was weird. They just vacuumed it right out. And she's missing one of her bones, but you're allowed to have one of those missing when you're growing up because your other bones will kind of like replace that missing one in a way when it grows.
They'll compensate. Yeah.
So, but she could have been paralyzed. She could have lost all memory of everything she's ever learned in life. When she woke up and she started talking, she was like, "Mommy," I was like, "Oh my goodness, thank
Oh,
goodness she
thank
still has her
goodness.
speech."
Right.
Then she moved her arm, and I was like, "Oh, yay!" She's not paralyzed, and same with her leg. And the doctors were amazed with her in the ICU. She was ready to jump up and walk hours after having
Ah,
her surgery. And they're like, this hasn't happened before when a kid has had this much intense surgery. And it was around Halloween, and she had missed the cute little Halloween parade around the ICU. And I grabbed her a costume because there's this Ronald McDonald room in CHOP, and people like just donate so much stuff, and you're allowed to just take it for your kid. And they had costumes for Halloween. So I picked a unicorn light up costume, and I was like, "Do you want to put this on and just like take a stroll around?" And because she needed to walk anyway.
yeah.
And so we got the costume on, and it was lit up, and it's in the first book as well.
Oh, it
And
is. Okay.
she walked around. She was a little still groggy and everything, but man, she did a parade around the ICU, and then she decided to hand candy to the nurses. It was so
So
cute.
amazing. So I'm going to, well, thank you for sharing that, by the way. I can't, as a parent, I don't can't ever imagine those words, right? So Snow is your daughter. Snow is
Yes.
now 10. Snow was
Yes.
6 when this all went down for the first time.
Yeah.
So Snow is doing well today.
Yes.
She's doing great. She's 10 years old. And you've written a series of books about Snow, the Princess of Adeladia? Adeladia?
Adeladia.
Adeladia. So Snow is the
Yes.
Princess of Adeladia, and you've got 3 books about Snow, the Princess. I saw you have a Halloween one, so maybe that's a
Yes.
little bit of an homage to the Halloween journey. Tell me, what is Adeladia?
Adeladia. So she was obsessed with Frozen back then,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
which kid isn't, you know?
right, right.
Um, and I was thinking like Arendelle is a really cool name. Like I need to come up with the perfect
Hmm.
kingdom for Snow. And because Frozen, Elsa has, freezing powers, and
Yeah,
Snow Snow's name, Wintry, but
yeah.
Snow's named after Snow White, not Snow, the stuff that
And
comes
that
out of the
is
air.
right. She is Snow. She's named after Snow White. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Okay.
Um, and then I like started thinking about our last name, Adamai, and I was like,
Ah. Okay.
Adeladia.
Adeladia sounds great. I love it. So Snow is the Princess of Adeladia, and you've got 3 books based on Snow and her journey and just being able to have other kids see. We're going to link to all of them because I think they should probably be flying off the shelves. They should be. So we're going to link to them. Not that I have the most massive audience, but anything that I can do to promote those, we will do that.
Well,
Um, yeah.
what one thing that I like to do is, so I sell them on Amazon, but
Hmm.
Amazon, not that it's about the money or anything, but what
Sure.
I like, I only get like $1 and some per book sale.
Right.
But if I buy the books and I like sell them, then I sell them where I do a 1-to-1. You buy a book, I
Hmm.
donate a book to CHOP. On
Okay.
Amazon, I have to sell about 10 books in
To
order
do
to
that.
then donate one to
Well, you'll
CHOP.
show me how to make that happen so we can put that in show notes. So when people can click, if there's a place they can go to get it outside of Amazon, or if they contact you directly to order a book, we can do that. Okay.
Yeah,
You'll give me
absolutely.
that info.
They contact me directly on my like Instagram,
Yeah.
as
Hmm.
long as they're local or I guess willing to pay shipping costs.
We'll
um,
see. We'll see what we can do for you for
yeah.
sure. So that's again, thank you for sharing your Snow's journey. And I'm sure everybody's gunning for Snow. She's healthy today. Hopefully she's going to stay that way. That's amazing. So, um, let's talk about your teaching. So you've been teaching for 14 years
Yes.
or so, right around then.
Yeah.
And you've been across like 3 different continents. So your husband's in the Navy,
He was
Air
in
Force,
the Air Force. He's
Air Force. Got
retired
it. Okay. So you
now.
went
So,
all around. So you were
oh
traveling
yeah.
all over and you taught. Why did you start teaching? Like what got you into teaching? Yeah.
So when I was a kid, there were two things I wanted to do. I either wanted to be an actress or I wanted to be a teacher. And one of the things I'd love to play with my friends was school, of course.
Uh-huh.
And I always had to be the teacher. And I loved teaching math. So I'd make math tests for my friends. They were not
Great.
as thrilled. But we also loved to act and play and, pretend we
Uh-huh.
were other people. So it was like this with both careers. In high school, I did child development and I also did theater. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I went away to college, I actually went for theater.
How did you?
And
Okay.
I went to Arcadia University for one
Mm-hmm.
year.
Okay.
And I was like, stage acting wasn't for me. I wanted to do film
Mm.
or TV shows,
Mm-hmm.
anything on the screen. So I went to New York Film Academy.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I was only there for half a semester, which was like 3 or 4 months. And I wasn't thrilled with who I was living with up there. So I
Okay.
came back. I had already applied to Westchester University because my parents, I was like, okay, well, once I'm done at New York Film Academy, I'm driving to California and starting my career. And they were like, can
Yeah.
you please just finish your education with college so that you have a degree to fall back on, whether
Right.
it's in theater or whatever. And then if you still want to go to California, go. And I was like, oh, okay.
All
So
right.
I came home and then I started at Westchester. But when I walked in to sign up for all my theater classes, they wanted to start me as a freshman. And I was like, I'm almost junior age right now. I don't
Right.
want to do all these classes again. They didn't take my classes from either place I went. So I nodded to the guy that was trying to sign me up for classes and I said, never mind. I don't want any of these. And I was like, I've always loved the idea of being a teacher. So I walked over
Mm-hmm.
to the education office and I was
Huh.
like, I'm a theater major right now, but I want to be an education major. What classes can I take right now? And they signed me up for the classes. I
Huh.
walked into a teaching reading class, and I was like, nope, I'm done. This is where I need to be. This is what I need to do.
That it just hit you like that, right? You
Yes,
knew it.
it
You
hit
knew
me
it.
just smack in the face, and I was like, yep, this is where
So
I'm
you
supposed to
were you
be.
were born to be a teacher.
Yes,
That's it. It's in your DNA.
yes, 100%.
Do you have any idea why? Do you ever think about why that is?
I think it's because I love like constantly doing different things and moving around. I would never be able to just sit at a desk.
Mm,
And I love being creative. I'm a very creative person.
hmm.
And I think that's where what it all comes down to.
Yeah. It gets so behind you. Do you make all those mouse ears or you buy those?
No, those are bought.
So clearly there's a Disney connection going on here.
Oh, yes.
Clearly your daughter's named after Snow White and you've got mouse ears all behind you. So you're into Disney, I'm assuming.
Yes. I was
Okay.
always like, I was Belle for Halloween in sixth grade, or
Uh-huh.
in when I was 6 years old in
Okay.
kindergarten, and I
Uh-huh.
was Jasmine in first grade. And then I've been all the other princesses throughout as well.
Why do
Um,
you what do you think that it comes? In other words, like I think all of this, you're very creative. I think about what you know, my world over here. Likewise, I like to create. So where do you think all that comes from? Like that's just your DNA, yeah? And then you've blended that into teaching. So your classrooms must be fun. Like
oh yes.
walking into your classroom, I've had an opportunity to go into multiple classrooms, and I've seen some good ones, right? Like there's some people doing some wild stuff. Like I was down at Alethea E.C. Setzer's place at Charles Pickney in South Carolina, North Carolina, I forget. But she'll kill me for that. But it was amazing. She had like Star Wars themes going on. It was just like, wow, I didn't have classrooms like this growing up. Like this was not my classroom, right? I mean, I got the rulers. So cool. So you teach because you love the creativity. You love working. I guess you love working with the kids, or you wouldn't
I
be doing this.
love the kids. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. And they make everything come alive and make it all better. And they help me refine what I have come up with as well. And as much as they're learning from me, I am learning just as much from them. And I make sure that I always point out when I make a mistake. And then
Mm.
I point out how I either go about fixing it or embracing that mistake. Because some mistakes I tell them are absolutely beautiful and morph into something that you could have never imagined before.
Mm. Hmm.
So I try to bring all that like SEL with me with the kids so that I can
Yeah.
send them off into middle school once they exit fifth grade, hopefully with them being able to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I was a classroom teacher for the first 9 years of teaching. Loved it. I loved teaching second, third,
Hmm.
fourth, and then I taught sixth grade for a year. Middle school wasn't really my jam. So I wanted to go back to elementary, and that's how I,
Yeah.
I actually fell into this design thinking process position
Tell me
in
about it.
in Marple Newtown School District. Um, they were starting it up, and it was a grant funded position the first year of it.
Hmm.
And they told us like what their vision was, and that we were to create their vision. And masks are still on at this point, and I was on a cart and I went from classroom to classroom trying to get the kids excited about um, this. What I understood the design thinking process as being in the beginning was social emotional learning, STEM mixed with project based learning,
Hmm.
real life problems, all mashed together.
Yeah.
So, one of my first projects that I did with some of the upper grades were using the Ozobots or
Yeah.
Ozobots, people pronounce it differently.
Yep. Yep.
And I had them use it to where they needed to create a story and then be able to tell the story as it's moving through their path with all their codes. And
Yeah.
then I hung them up for the night of the arts night, and the parents loved it. The kids' stories were hilarious. There was one about like McDonald's and Mr. Burger, and then they made costumes for it. And every year I just came up with better projects and learned more and more about the design thinking process. So I was 3 years at Marple and I helped build the curriculum there.
Okay.
Um, I loved it there. It was an incredible school district. But my kids go to Westchester
Mm.
and they were finally starting up one in Westchester. And I was like, you know what? I got to try to go over there so that I can be closer to my kids and see my kids more. And
Yeah.
then I got offered the job. And so then I was able
Nice.
to start helping build the curriculum over here. And I have so many favorites about teaching what I teach. So one of them is that it's an ever changing curriculum
Hmm.
because it is going with the times of what's new and embracing what could these kids be doing in future jobs.
That's right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I was learning a lot of AI stuff this summer when I went to ISTE, and I also
Yeah.
did a Code Joy learning experience with the Hummingbird Kit, and then I learned more about AI and other things when I went to the Keystone Technology Innovators Summit this
Mm.
summer.
Yeah.
Um, and I just love bringing in all those things that I learn into
So
my teaching.
so when you're K through 5, so what are you doing about AI? What were your learnings about how you introduce or utilize or work with AI at those grade levels?
So, because it's so new and they're
Hmm.
still actually trying to find a place for it with elementary,
Hmm.
um, I was only learning about it so far, and we're still trying to
Okay.
find a place for it or even how to go about it with
Right.
elementary. So, that's like our next phase of trying to
Yeah.
figure that out. So, we don't really have that in there yet, but I'm
Yeah.
hoping to.
I
And
think
like I
it's
use it in my like building process. So I use Canva
Sure.
all the time. Canva
Right.
is my favorite place to go.
Love
And you know
Canva.
what? I lied. You know what? The kids do use it because like my fifth graders used Canva last year. So they're, typing in the thing and then the
Yeah.
different pieces of Canva are coming up because I had them create designs that we use then the Cricut to print out on heat press vinyl. We heat press these onto blankets and then I washed them per directions. And then I delivered like 50 blankets to chop made by my fourth and fifth graders
Really?
last year.
Did
Yeah.
you really?
Yeah.
Is all of this on your Instagram? I got to go back and look. Is a
Yes.
lot of this on your Instagram?
Most of it. When
Okay.
I have been jamming my schedule so much that I have posted less and less, and I
We
need to
need
keep
more content.
posting.
You got
I
great stuff. It
know.
sounds like you've got some amazing things. I love the idea of teaching kids to interface with AI. Like, not, it's not like how to use it is how to use it. I want to be careful how I say it. It's like it's not like just too many people just use it so surface level. And I
Yeah.
think that there's an opportunity to teach kids how to really work it as a tool and to use it to problem solve, to
Yes.
ideate, to help create, to be kind of like another head at the table, if you will,
Hmm.
like almost like a fifth student in a team of four. And there's this fifth entity there that can assist you with brainstorming ideas, working through problems, simplifying complex kind of things, right? Like, and I think there's an opportunity for at this grade level to have some sort of an interface where, like, we've got Gimbal in our Little Legends. Gimbal is an artificially intelligent drone. So the
Right.
students interface with Gimbal. They have to interact with Gimbal, talk. They essentially prompt him,
Okay.
right? So it's an idea. So there's something there. I think it's
Yeah.
waiting for somebody to kind of really think about it. But as you think about kids, I'm just fascinated by what you can do with it. I'm an
Me too.
optimist, so I don't seem to look at it in such a negative light as a lot of other people do. I can see why they would in a lot of ways, but I also think there's a lot of good that can come from it too. So yeah, I'm excited about it. So
And coming off of that you're optimist and you want to like see all that stuff. This past summer, I came up with this phrase that I'm basing my whole entire like philosophy on this year and it comes from watching oh my goodness, what is that show about soccer in England and the guy comes from America?
oh, I don't know because I don't watch a lot of TV, but you're blanking, right? You're having one
Uh-huh.
of those moments, and it's
Woo.
popular. It's really popular right now. I've
Yes,
heard
and
about it.
he has the believe sign up above in the
Yeah.
locker room and he hits it every time. And anyway, so I came up with one that says embrace the new.
Yeah.
And because I want everybody to embrace what is new to them. Instead of seeing something that they've never seen before and go, that's different, that's weird, that's
Mm-hmm.
strange.
Mm-hmm.
Those are so negative. Say, that's new to me. Let me learn about it. What can I
Sure.
do with this? Oh, now I understand it. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. That's the great way to look at the world, isn't it?
Yes. And
Just
it,
as
it just,
one big giant learning opportunity. Isn't it cool when
yeah,
you walk
it
through
just
life
opens
like
up so
that?
many doors.
Well, it's just perpetual curiosity, right? I think it's like I want to learn more about that, right? Like I like that. So embrace the new is your motto for moving forward, embracing
Yes.
the new. Do you tell your students that embrace the new?
Well, we only
Do
have
you
one
have a
teacher.
big sign in your room?
I do.
Do you? So your new
Yeah.
classroom, wait, when does classes start? They started last week for you?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
because here in Jersey they start Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
always
So
this
just
all
one week.
this is why all the Jersey people go to the shore this week. Because
That makes sense.
all the PA people aren't at the beach anymore. It's less
But
crowded.
well, Delco is
Yeah,
but a lot of those schools don't start until after Labor Day.
right. I remember we used to go when my son was young. This was the week we went because it was the week before Labor Day because a lot of the PA residents are all back to school, so
Yep.
that the rents on the buildings are cheaper, a little bit, and the beaches aren't as crowded, right? So they
Yeah.
weren't as crowded. Meanwhile, Ocean City doesn't have a beach anymore; it's gone. So
Oh,
it's
I
like
know.
it's been
Oh, that's
washed
so
away.
sad.
It never was a big one. I know we're talking about school podcasts, but it was always like I remember one year going like 10 years ago, and the beach was like 15 feet, 20 feet long.
Yeah.
Not like Wildwood.
I
you need
know.
a car to get from like the beaches are huge, right? So anyway,
Yeah,
we digress. So embrace the new is your motto. So that's actually interesting. So I want to talk a little bit about how that feeds into kind of my next question. So
sure.
we're here to talk to other teachers, right? So we're talking to, hopefully teachers are listening to this podcast and they're actually getting something out of it. And I like to think about, okay, well, we know that it's a challenging job. There's a shortage, apparently, of great teachers, and less people are entering into the profession for a lot of different reasons. We don't have to go through them all, but there's numerous reasons why.
Oh yeah.
Um, what would you say to those that are kind of either thinking about it or have recently entered and are nervous? So let's just stop there. Like those on the fence or those that are like just getting in or just starting school, what would you say to those people?
Um, I would say, take a class, see how it makes you feel. And I mean, I was like in that first day in that class, and that professor just captivated me with her experience in the classroom. Although, she would still tell us things like, make sure you have a hobby outside so you don't get engulfed in school and everything in your classroom. But it was just magical to hear about it. And I just was like a little kid in the candy store, like, oh, I can't wait to go teach kids and come up with all these cool lessons and neat things to do. And I was a kid who struggled with reading and spelling.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to make sure that like no kid would struggle. Like I wanted to help figure it out, like not figure it out for them, but figure out how to teach them, how they learn.
Mm-hmm.
And that was huge for me. And if you have a passion like that to want to help kids and you have that creativity that you like are like, oh, what could I use this for? Bringing it into the classroom, you're going to not only have fun, but you're going to change lives. And these kids are going to remember you. And
Yeah.
you could be their hero, not to sound like corny,
Well,
but
you've
you
been
might
teaching for
be.
14 years. Have you ever had a student come back that says, I remember you?
I have.
Tell me about that.
So, but because I've taught in Okinawa, Japan, I taught
Uh-huh.
in England, and then
Right,
I've
right.
also taught here in Pennsylvania. The way that these kids have found me is friending me on Facebook or
Yeah.
Instagram, but obviously they're not kids anymore. They're now like adults, or their
Young
parents have
adults.
friended me, and the
Yeah.
parents will update me.
Wow.
I had a
Cool.
parent send me a graduation card for the student I had when he was in fourth grade. And she
Oh,
wrote me the note that he would have never graduated high school if he didn't have you as a teacher.
wow. Really? What a
Oh,
note. What a great
oh,
email to get. I'll bet. I'll
yes,
bet that's an amazing thing to have happen, isn't it?
yes.
That's
I've
got to
had
feel
lots
great.
of reach outs with thanking me and telling me that I was their favorite teacher, whether it was from the student or the parent. And
Yeah.
I have another student who is now out of college who reached out to me on Facebook and just said, you were my absolute favorite teacher. And you just, I forget like how she worded it, but it was like basically like I got her and
Yeah.
nobody else ever did.
Oh, it's
And
so nice.
I know, again, just like waterworks, just like,
It's like you have tons of kids, don't you? They're
yeah,
all your kids, and
they
you feel for
are.
them all. Right, right. And so you let me go back to this. So you said go to a class. So when you think about like what are the recommendations? Go experience it. Go see if it's for you. I've
Yeah,
heard from others that you can maybe go sit in on a class and watch a class in action. Maybe go into somebody's classroom, like maybe ask if you could go visit your classroom. When you came into, so you were so excited in that moment. This is for me. I'm listening to the lectures. You're going to rock. I'm going to do, you sound like you have it. You had this all figured out. When you finally got out of school, when your first day walking into your first classroom and that first week, was it everything you thought it would be?
it was. It
It
was really
was.
cool because uh,
Yeah, cool.
I actually got hired at the school that I student taught in and in the same grade level.
Hmm.
And I didn't get hired until the week before they brought the new teachers in. And then it was just like this relief, because back in 2010, there were tons of teachers and everybody was
Mm,
like trying to get a job. So to be hired as I was a long-term sub for a year for a teacher that was on maternity leave for a whole year. And
mhm.
to get a position like that straight out of college was
Amazing.
huge.
You
And
got
I got
real
to take
fortunate.
the classroom, and it was so much fun. I put my little touches on it with Disney, and I made it all cutesy. And then the
Yeah.
kids came in, and they were the most adorable second graders ever. And they were an amazing class. I was like more strict in the beginning, like that's how I was back then. But the kids really liked it because they found that structure, and then like
Hmm.
they saw like, oh, she's not strict all the time. And then but they had already had the routine and the structure down,
Well, isn't
which
that
was
that's
great.
what I've heard? Like, in other words, so again, not being a teacher, I get the privilege. I'm like the grandparent that comes in. So I'm the guy that comes in with the drones every now and then, spends about an hour with the kids. They think I'm the coolest thing since sliced bread, and then I walk away, right? I'm like, and then leave them floating on air. Like, this guy's the coolest. They don't have to deal with me day in, day out, and I don't have to deal with them day in, day out. So I've heard from numerous people on this podcast that the biggest mistake you can do walking into your first day is being too lenient, because you set a bar. Whereas what you did is, maybe consciously or unconsciously, is that you came in and you were a little strict, but you said it. But then they found that I could be nice too. And
Yes.
but I'd set the tone for the discipline, because if not, I've heard, again, I don't know, they'll tread all over you, right? They can tread on you. They'll take advantage if you give them too much. You're too nice, right? It's kind of like my role as a parent. Your parent first, your friend second, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
kind of that kind of a world, right?
But I really think that also goes with like everybody's personality. Some
Mm-hmm.
teachers are more like, I guess you can say, lenient, because all that extra movement and throughout the room and chatter, and other teachers would see it as chaos. That teacher is like, this is
Love
how
it.
I vibe. This is how I
Right.
work.
Right.
So I think it really depends on you. If you're
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden seeing that the leniency is like overwhelming you, your heart's pounding, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've lost control, then I feel like you need to go back and you need to relook at your classroom management. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
how can I make this work better for myself and the kids so that we have a successful year?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where it all comes down to, is what works for you.
And what do you do? Like, what's your kind of go to for that?
Well, see, now I'm like grandparent, where they come into my
You get
classroom, we're
the,
like,
yeah.
yay,
This
we
is
get to
this
build
is
stuff
fun
and
time.
code
Yeah.
stuff and work with robots and 3D
Yeah.
print. So
Right.
at the same time, though, I still have to bring them back because they want to chat sometimes. And all
Mm-hmm.
I have to do is say, you know, you're wasting your time doing the fun stuff I have planned. It's okay with me. I can play with this stuff anytime I want.
Right.
And then they bring it back.
That's
So
great.
how I used to be as a classroom teacher versus a specials teacher is completely different.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Oh, all right. So, as I like to do, I like to leave this as always positive. You sound like you're just full of positivity. I like to kind of take us out on like a positive note. Um, you'll follow up with me, and I want to make sure that we can get everybody to where they can buy books directly from you. We'll get them on your Instagram. We'll get an email address for you, and I'll put that in. I want people to be able to reach out to you directly, because I do love your whole thing with snow, and I think those books could be helpful for a lot of other parents and kids. So we want to try
And
to get those out as much as possible.
when we donate them to CHOP, Snow and I sign them and write a little note inside. And there's this red book cart in the day hospital in the burger building of CHOP. And that's where brand new books go, and kids are allowed to take them for free. So
That's
that's
great.
where we donate them to, so that then these kids can have access to our books for free.
And CHOP, for those that don't know, is Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So we're right
Yes.
outside of Philly. So I'm on one side of Philly and you're on the other. I'm in
Yes.
Jersey and you're in PA suburbs, but we're both in Eagles country, which is
Yes,
Thursday
100%. Go
night,
Eagles. Go Birds.
Dallas, Thursday night.
Oh,
All right, here we go. So now you're going to take me out on a high note, okay? You're going to tell me what are we optimistic about? School year is starting 25, 26. School year started like now, like we're in it, right? It's
yeah.
Labor Day weekend. What are you excited about in the world of education? What gets you jazzed?
Oh, all the projects I get to do with the kids, all the things I get
Mm-hmm.
to teach them. I have so many different tools in my classroom. And just seeing their faces light up when they walk into design lab and they're like, whoa, because I my decorations, but then they think about last year and what they saw the grade above them doing. They're like, I can't wait to do the arcade, or I can't wait to do mini golf, or whatever else it is they are hyped about.
Yeah.
And I never teach the same thing the exact same way. I always increase the ante or make it better. I'm always reflecting. So they're always going to see changes. And I have a lot of new projects in the works that I discovered this summer through a lot of my research and teacher
Mm,
conferences. So they're going to
yeah.
be even more hyped when they see these things coming.
That's great. Oh, good. So you're pumped for the school year. You've got a lot of
Oh,
cool
yes.
stuff coming up. And you went to ISTE over I missed it. I missed my flight was completely delayed. I was supposed to go down, meet some people. My flight here out of Philadelphia got canceled. I
Oh,
was
my
only
gosh.
going for like a day. I was only doing like a night, day in, and then the following day heading back out because I had other things to do. And I just didn't go. I was like, by the time I get down there, they're going to try to get me in. Anyway, I didn't go. I'm sorry I missed it. I missed some great meetings with some great people. But next year, it's in Orlando, right? In summer. Next summer, it's in
I
Orlando, I
believe
think.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's in Orlando. Perfect for you. You must be
Oh,
excited.
if I get the chance to go again, I will totally be
Yeah.
there. I did, I met I don't know if I had met you, but or some other employees from Drone Legends at Pete and C last year. So that's where I heard about it.
Oh, that's where you met us. Yeah, we do Pete and
Yes.
C. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I wasn't there, but my team were. They were there.
Okay, yeah.
You
So I
got to see
talked to
the
them.
logos of them. Cool.
Yes. And my supervisor is like, he really wants to bring drones into the classrooms, into the
Oh,
elementary level. And when
yeah,
I saw this and I was like, it's based for elementary kids, I told
yeah.
him about it and to look into it. Now, granted, we like just started the program and got a ton of stuff already. So we have to
Yeah.
kind of wait to get
Of
more
course.
stuff. But
Yeah.
he was
Well,
definitely
we'll talk.
interested in
Well, we will
checking it
talk.
out.
We will
And
absolutely
if
talk.
you ever want to come into my classroom, let me know.
Oh, I'll do that. So we're gonna do a twofer. Remember, so I have something. I'll show them now. So my friend, can we show them? So
Oh,
just
yeah,
don't
absolutely.
don't let Snow watch this. So Snow's not allowed to watch
Okay.
this episode because we're surprised. So I've got a good friend. Her name is Heather Long, and Heather is the founder of this thing called Pause with Panda. And she sent me one, and I'm going to show you what it is, but I've never used it because I don't really have a use for it, but she sent it to me. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a little label over here and we're going to write Snow here. So, Snow, it'll say, will you take a pause with me? And here's the panda. And then when Snow gets to open it up, Snow's going to get a little surprise because Snow's going to see, hi, friend. It's great to meet you. What's inside? You've got a storybook, user manual, stickers, a charging cable. There's the website. The website is Pause with Panda. Pause as in take a pause, not PAWS, but PAUSE. Pausewithpanda.com. And I'm going to deliver this to you. So when I do, we'll do a twofer. I'll give you this, and I'll hang in your classroom, and I'll fly some drones around for your kids if you want.
Oh, that would be
Um,
amazing.
and then they're going to get Pause with Panda. And Panda, when he's fully charged,
So cute.
he or she has these. These will create mindfulness sounds like calming sounds, self-guided, kind of like meditation. And so these are all active points here, the feet, the ears, the heart clicks. And so this is Pause with Panda. Panda's brand
So,
spanking new. So Snow is going to get to name this panda. So maybe it Snow's, Prince Panda that she can run around with. So anyway, I'm going to bring this to you. We'll set that up, and I think it'll be a blast. I'll have a ball, and your
thank you
kids will have
so
a
much.
great time. And You're welcome. I'm excited to give this to you and actually put it to good use. I'm sure Snow will
Absolutely.
get a lot more joy out of it than my old butt. She'll enjoy it. Yeah, yeah, right. So there you go. Positive Panda. Trisha, it's been so nice getting to know you. I'm really excited. You're gonna hang on. I'm gonna turn this off and you'll hang on
Okay.
and we're gonna exchange some info and I'm gonna come out and deliver Panda to you and we'll also get some of your kids flying one of these and we'll give them some Drone
Awesome.
Legend stickers and some gear. Seeing as you're so close, I can't miss the opportunity. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're going to wrap this episode up. Trisha and I are going to continue our conversation offline. All right. Thank you, Trisha.
Stage.